Meanwhile, the sunsets are mad orange fools raging in the gloom, whilst far in the south in the direction of my intended loving arms of senoritas, snow-pink piles wait at the foot of the world, in general silvery cities. The lake is a hard pan, gray and blue, waiting at the mist bottoms for when I ride her in Phil's boat. Jack Mountain, as always, receives his meed of little cloud at highbrow base, his 1,000 football fields of snow all raveled in pink. That one unimaginable, abominable snowman still squatted petrified on the ridge. Golden Horn far off is yet golden in a gray southeast. Sourdough's monster hump overlooks the lake. Surly clouds blacken to make fire rims at that forge where the night's being hammered. Crazed mountains march to the sunset like drunken cavaliers in Messina when Ursula was fair. I would swear that Hoselmine would move if we could induce him, but he spends the night with me, and soon when the stars rain down the snowfields, he'll be in the pink of pride all black and yawy, to the north, where, just above him every night, the North Star flashes pastel orange, pastel green, iron orange and iron blue, azurite of indicative constellative auguries of her makeup there that you could weigh on the scales of the golden world. The wind. The wind. And there's my poor endeavoring human desk at which I sit so often during the day, facing south, the papers and pencils and the coffee cup with sprigs of alpine fir, and a weird orchid of the heights, wiltable in one day. My beechnut gum, my tobacco pouch, dusts, pitiful pulp magazines I have to read, view south to all those snowy majesties. The waiting is long. On Starvation Ridge, little sticks are trying to grow. Only the night before my decision to live loving, I had been degraded, insulted, and made mournful by this dream. "And get a good tenderloin steak," says Ma, handing Denny Blue the money. She's sending us to the store to get a good supper. Also, she's suddenly decided to put all her confidence in Denny these latter years, now that I've become such a vague, ephemeral, undeciding being, who curses the gods in his bed sleep and wanders around bareheaded and stupid in the gray darkness. It's in the kitchen, it's all agreed. I don't say anything. We go off. In the front bedroom by the stairs, Pa is dying. Is in his deathbed and practically dead already. It's in spite of that Ma wants a good steak, wants to plank her last human hope on Denny, on some kind of decisive solidarity. Pa is thin, pale, his bedsheets white. It seems to me he's dead already. We go down in the gloom and negotiate our way somehow to the butcher store in Brooklyn, in the downtown main streets around Flatbush. Bob Donnelly is there and the rest of the gang, bareheaded and bummy in the street. A gleam has now come in Denny's eyes as he sees his chance to turn tail and become a con man with all Ma's money in his hand. In the store, he orders the meat, but I see him pulling short-change tricks and stuffing money in his pocket and making some kind of arrangement to renege on her agreement. Her last agreement. She had pinned her hopes on him. I was of no more avail. Somehow, we wander from there and don't go back to Ma's house, and wind up in the River Army, which is dispatched. After watching a speedboat race to swim downstream in the cold, swirling, dangerous waters, the speedboat, if it had been a long one, could have dived right under the flotilled crowd and come up the other side and completed its time, but because of faulty short design, the racer, Mr. Darling, complains that was the reason his boat just ducked under the crowd and got stuck there and couldn't go on. Big official floats took note. Me and the lead gang, the army starts swimming downstream. We are going to the bridges and cities below. The water is cold and the current extremely bad, but I swim and struggle on. How'd I get here? I think. What about Ma's steak? What did Denny Blue do with her money? Where is he now? Oh, I have no time to think. Suddenly, from a lawn by the St. Louis de France church on the shore, I hear kids shouting a message at me. Hey, your mother's in the insane asylum. Your mother's gone to the insane asylum. Your father's dead. And I realize what's happened, and still, swimming and in the army, I'm stuck struggling in the cold water. And all I can do is grieve. Grieve. In the hoar necessities horror of the morning, bitterly I hate myself. Bitterly it's too late yet. While I feel better, I still feel ephemeral and unreal, and unable to straighten my thoughts or even really grieve. In fact, I feel too stupid to be really bitter. In short, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm being told what to do by the army, and Denny Blue has played a wood on me too. At last, to get his sweet revenge, but mostly it's just that he's decided to become an out-and-out crook, and this was his chance. And even though the saffron freezing message may come from the sunny ice caps of this world, oh haunted fools we are, I add an appendage to a long, loving letter I'd been writing to my mother for weeks. Don't despair, Ma. I'll take care of you whenever you need me. Just yell. I'm right there, swimming the river of hardships, but I know how to swim. Don't ever think for 1 minute that you are left alone. She is 3,000 miles away, living in bondage to ill kin. Desolation. Desolation. How shall I ever repay thee?